What is up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Welcome to another DDLive weekly. This is number 12, I think. 12, which is crazy. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Big show for tonight, and I had a top main story that I was going to talk about, but then I just noticed the other day, I think yesterday, that this was the anniversary of H20, and I thought, H20 is not just any normal Halloween movie, right? This is a movie that's highly debated, and I would even say probably the most debated. That's an arguable statement, okay? I know some people say that Halloween 6 is highly debated. Some people say that Halloween 2018 is highly debated. Hell, when I posted my promo for this stream, immediately I knew this was going to happen too. Somebody on Twitter, they literally, and I'll even give the guy a shout out. I'll give the guy a shout out. He posted on Twitter Halloween H20 pretty much miles better than Halloween 2018, and I knew that was going to happen. That's just, here it is right here. His name's Vork, V-O-R-K, and I can tell he's a passionate person. He's a very passionate person. And he said, let me see here. H20 miles better pretty much than Halloween 2018. And I responded, let's see, what did I respond with? Let's see, I said, definitely wouldn't go that far. They're both very different movies in tone and execution. And his response was, I completely disagree. H20 knows it is a horror thriller. H18 tone is all over the place. It seems more like a misplaced comedy. That's just enough for the first one to be better. So, and I'm not giving him a shout out to be mean or anything. He's a passionate fan. H20 and Halloween 2018, they bring out something in people. They really do. Both those movies really do. I think more than any other entry in the franchise, even the first. I mean, well, everybody agrees on the first anyway, right, guys? How are you guys doing tonight? Holy shit. That's just a little sample of the H20 talk that we're going to get into. It can get heated. It's going to get heated in here, okay? I think most of you know my opinion on H20, but I've seen the movie a million times, and sometimes I think I'm always entertained by the movie, but the warts are always there. They're always there. And it's, you know what? I'm going to give you guys an assignment right now, okay? Right now, I want you to just write, regarding H20, okay? H20. I want you to write like or dislike. Simple. That's it. I want you to write that, and I want to just see the freaking chat going down, and I'm doing an experiment right now, right? Because I'm thinking that it's going to be like 50-50 because this movie is just so damn debated. It really is. So I want to see it light up right now. Like or dislike. Just simple as that, okay? Be completely honest, okay? Do you like the movie or do you dislike the movie? Really, really curious to see what we get. And while you're doing that, I'm going to tell my hellos. Tom Ungren, Brock Savage, Alicia, Brettman. Let's see a lot of my patrons in here. Chris Snyder, Metalhead. Chris Snyder, I got a couple of funnies from Chris Snyder, a couple from Beth. Tons of funnies for you guys tonight, okay? Okay, here we go. Like, dislike, like, dislike. So mostly likes. You guys are proving me wrong. Neutral for Beth. Mostly likes. I can go ahead and pretty much call this now. It's a relatively liked film. Okay. I would have swore that H2, and sometimes I'm wrong, but I would have swore that H2O was more down the middle. But I would say the ones that dislike really dislike it. Okay? That's my guess. I'm on the dislike side for sure, even though I'm entertained by the movie. Okay? And we're all horror fans. We all love to discuss and debate movies, whether we have a differing opinion or not. That's what DDLive is about anyway. We talk movies, and sometimes we have different opinions on things. And if we can have a good, healthy debatable discussion about it, then what the fuck is wrong with that? Right? There you go. God, man, I just freaking came out swinging, didn't I? Jesus. Didn't even get a chance to get my bearings. Crazy. I'm so happy to be hanging out with you guys. This is the first Thursday that we've actually been back on track. Because I think the last 2 Thursdays I missed this. Last week we did it on a Wednesday. And so this week I swore, I was like, we're going to get to this. We're going to do it on a Thursday. Okay. Energy Sucker. Destiny, how are you doing? Michael Myers, my boy. Manhammer R15. I saw Stay Metal Ray in there too. Have to say hello to Stay Metal Ray. Check out his channel, guys. The guy is one hell of a guitarist. Like, god damn, he's a good guitarist. One day, me and him, we're going to put together a drum guitar collaboration. We're going to do that. Devin McCree says, what's up, bitches? Norton says, g'day, Lee, and everyone. Is Norton from the UK? Could he be from the UK? That's a horrible, horrible English accent. DeReal Sean, who is my newest Drumdums patron. Thank you, good sir. And that was the first order of business. I want to, I think once a month I'll do this. I'll go ahead and welcome my patrons for the current month. And let me pull this up. I got it ready here. And, you know, you guys support me. You guys keep me going. You give me that Austin Powers mojo that I need. And you keep me afloat, too, when my shit breaks down. And you guys know it's broken down before. I'm able to jump right back in there and get it going again. So, actually, I just got a new one. David Newton, DeReal Sean, I just mentioned him. Mimi, who's a friend. I see Mimi on Killer Flicks all the time, actually. Taylor Voss. Emily just did her first patron live stream last night. We did Terrifier. It was really fun, and this was Emily's first one. Even though we had a little technical hiccup in the middle, we got right back on track, and we kept going, and it was a blast. I see Holly in there. What's up, Holly? How are you doing? Jacob Sliter. We got a Swedish here, Emil Björklund from, he's Swedish. He's from Sweden. Matthew Rieger, John Hogan, Thomas O'Keefe, the Wolfman. Now I got 2 Wolfmans. I got Wolfman's Got Nards, and I got the Wolfman. So Gerardo Rees, Cameron Denny, and James Grimm. Those are my newest patrons. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are freaking awesome. Now, before we get in, let me take a freaking drink. I got my Mikey Weiss certified monster here. I went out and bought another 10-pack. I don't see Mikey in there, but yeah, if Mikey's in there, just so you know, I bought another 10-pack. Erica Bro, this was her first patron live stream last night as well. I saw it with my own eyes. She had a good time in there. It was really cool. And yeah, we had a blast. Let me open. Jesus, I get wired before these things, guys. Okay, I get really freaking wired. And I'm like, whoo. This is what you guys do to me. All right. So let me open my drink here. And then I'm going to tell you guys about a Halloween fan film that I recently watched and was pretty damn entertained, actually. Okay. Trap. What's up, brother? How you doing? Michael Trapson, my brother from another mother. He's a smooth criminal. Love you, Trap. Trap is the man. Trap, I was thinking, and I have this argument in my brain sometimes because I'm always thinking about music and stuff. And a lot of times I have this debate in my head about Michael Jackson and Prince. And sometimes I'm more of a Michael Jackson fan, and sometimes I'm more of a Prince fan. And it's like I can't decipher my brain. Like I can't figure out which one I'm more of a fan of. I think, and Trap's going to kill me for this, but I think I'm more of a Prince fan. Even though I love both immensely. But I think I'm more of a Prince fan. I think Prince just has... First off, the guy is just a master musician. As a matter of fact, in a recent vlog that I did, I had a little part in there where I had the camera on Eric Clapton. And there was an interview with Eric Clapton. It wasn't even an interview. Somebody just approached him and said, how does it feel to be the greatest guitar player ever? And he said, I don't know, ask Prince. And I thought that was really awesome. I know Clapton was a big fan of Prince, actually, and Prince could actually play with his gloves on. And Clapton said, I've never seen anybody be able to play that good wearing their gloves. So Prince was just so badass. I mean, he was so unique, and I literally miss the guy every day. I really miss Prince to death. I mean, he just... I was telling Traps in this story, too, when he was on my live stream, and I got to share it again with you guys. Remember back when they used to have the American Music Awards in the 80s? And I remember seeing Michael Jackson and Prince every year on these things. Michael Jackson would always wear those glasses, and we always wanted to see him take his glasses off. I remember this is how big Michael Jackson was. Like, he would be on these freaking shows, and if he even like reached his hand up to grab his glasses and like slowly took them down, the crowd would start, like you could hear the roar of the crowd just getting louder and louder. It was intense. And I've still to this day never seen an artist have that much power over an audience. But yeah, every year it'd be him and Prince, and they'd be at these events. And it seems like I rarely saw them perform live. They did a couple times. I mean, Michael Jackson did the famous moonwalk live on, I believe it was either the Grammys or the American Music Awards. But the story I was going to tell was Prince. He gets up there, and Quincy Jones wants to do a We Are the World type thing. You know, they're literally at the awards show, and Quincy Jones is like, everybody get up on stage right now. We're going to sing We Are the World. This was great. And Trapson knows this story. And so Prince is literally standing right there in the middle, in front of everybody, right next to Quincy Jones. And they start singing, and Prince is sucking on a lollipop. Everybody's singing at the top of their lungs except Prince. Prince is literally sucking on a lollipop the whole time. And Quincy Jones like takes the mic and tries to, give it to Prince. And he's like, no, he just keeps sucking on his lollipop. That was Prince. I just loved the balls on this guy. Prince didn't give a shit about nothing except his music. His music was his everything, and everything else was second place and down. That was Prince. Prince was freaking amazing. See, Trapson got me talking about Prince. And I'm glad you did, because I don't get to talk about Prince or Michael Jackson enough on these streams, even though I constantly talk about music. But yeah, so now let me take another drink. Jesus. Prince gets me excited, and Michael Jackson. Yeah. Yeah, Trapson knows that story. All right. Oh, geez. What Kiss song was I listening to today? That's going to be your homework assignment. For every weekly stream, I want you guys to try to guess which Kiss song is Lee going to talk about today. Because it's going to happen. I'm always going to be talking about some Kiss song. But I'm not going to talk about a single song. What I'm going to talk about is those early albums with the original four members. And it just dawned on me this week why I really love those albums and why they're so easy to listen to. Because you had, and here's the answer right here. I'm going to just go ahead and give it to you. Because you had four guys who all sang. Kind of like the Beatles, right? So when you listen to those albums, it was genius. There are Ace fans, there are Paul fans, there are Gene fans, and there are some Peter fans. And I'm talking strictly singing. They all had a very unique voice, and every album you'd look forward to hearing a couple songs sang by each member. And it was just really cool. And, when the one song would end, you'd wonder, okay, who's going to be singing in the next song? And most of the time, the songs were great. So I think that's a big reason why I love Kiss so much, especially those older albums, because there's so much variety there with every member in the band. You know, they all brought different songs to the table. Most of the time, if they wrote the song, they sang the song. Not all the time. Like, Hard Luck Woman is a song that Peter Criss sings, but he didn't write that song. Paul Stanley wrote it. But Paul Stanley wrote it thinking, I want to write a Rod Stewart type of song, and I think Peter Criss would be perfect for this. So, you know, it was genius. So that's why I love Kiss's old albums, and I'm starting to like fall in love with them again. It's really cool. Okay, so I didn't plan on getting into music. God damn it, guys. I want everybody to stand in the corner right now. Right now. Stand in the freaking corner. Okay? Jesus. Got me all fired up about music. What's up, Justin? How you doing, brother? Yeah, man. Gary, what about Metallica? I guess I haven't talked about Metallica that much, have I? I will tell you, and I am definitely an old Metallica fan. I love Kill 'Em All. I love Ride the Lightning. Ride the Lightning happens to be my favorite album by them. I love Master of Puppets. Actually, Injustice for All might be my favorite album. It's between Injustice for All or Ride the Lightning. And I do like the Black Album, as controversial as it is, because that is the start of a different Metallica. But the Black Album is still a very solid album. So that's my love for Metallica, those albums right there. I don't mind, like there's a few songs off of the later albums that are good, they're okay, but nothing will ever be old Metallica. It just won't. That's my opinion, okay? And if I want to make you guys jealous, and that's just because of my age, because I'm old as fuck, I saw Metallica and Guns N' Roses in concert together. There was a small period of time where they put these two gargantuan bands this was at the height of their fame. You know, this is when the Black Album had just come out. And this is when I think the Use Your Illusion albums had just come out. And so they put these two giants together. And I knew as soon as it was announced, I was like, this is not going to last long. Because, not for Metallica, but because Guns N' Roses were just a very unpredictable band. You know, they always were in trouble back then. And they could never last that long with another band. Just because like Axl Rose was a very jealous type of person. He didn't want another singer to outdo him, and I think he was jealous of Metallica. And so, you know, they started this big riot in St. Louis and all that. So, but they came to Denver, Colorado, and it was my first base in the military, and I was stationed in Denver. And I got my tickets immediately, and I was like, God, please don't let Guns N' Roses fuck this up. So I can actually be there and watch these two bands play live. And they did. They performed. Each band did 3 hours at Mile High Stadium in Denver, Colorado. And it was insane. It was godlike. It was crazy. And luckily, Metallica opened. And I always loved like Lars's white drum kit that he had back then, you know, with those massive toms. Like his drum sets now, they're not as cool looking. You know, they're kind of, I don't know, they feel kind of like lacking. Like his old drum kit, man, that thing was a freaking beast. And they played for 3 hours, crowd on their feet the entire 3 hours. And it was just blistering. It was insane. So then they get off stage. Guns N' Roses comes on. They open up with Welcome to the Jungle. It was awesome. Everybody's freaking out. This is badass. So they finish Welcome to the Jungle. What happens? Axl Rose walks off stage. And everybody's like, what the hell's going on? Like, the rest of the band's still on stage, but Axl just walked off stage. Maybe he's going for, you know, to take a drink or something, or maybe a costume change or something like that. He didn't come back out for 3 songs. Duff literally sang the next 3 songs. Brian Kupko, there he is. He's the guy that has the Halloween fan film that I'm going to be talking about. But, yeah, so for 3 songs, it was Duff singing, poor Duff, and then finally Axl comes back out. I love Guns N' Roses. I am a big Guns N' Roses fan. I think they're one of the most interesting bands ever. And I think because they're so controversial, it only adds to their mystique. I think it's interesting that you had literally a handful of albums in a small period of time by the band. You know, with Appetite for Destruction being one of the highest selling albums of all time. And then Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. Of course, you had GNR Lies, you had Spaghetti Incident, but those are the game changers. Those 3 albums, really 2 albums, just one of them's pretty much like a double album. And then they weren't heard from again for so long, and Axl comes back with Chinese Democracy like 20 years later, or I'm just guessing, but it just felt like forever. And of course, there's no way Chinese Democracy could even live up to the hype. But in a nutshell, they're just that type of band. They're just so interesting. It's interesting to me that they are the number 1 draw for for tours now, and they don't even have new material out. I think that's just interesting. But Metallica blew them off the stage. That's pretty much the point that I'm trying to make. Even though Metallica blew them off the stage, I still love the band. I love Guns N' Roses, of course. But see, somebody opened up a freaking can of more music talk with Metallica there. And big Metallica fan, though. I prefer Metallica over Guns N' Roses, but they're just 2 completely different types of bands. It was weird to put those 2 bands together in the first place. Because Metallica fans, especially back then, are probably the most passionate fans that you will ever see. They're just back then they were just insane. So both bands have their fan bases. Okay, now Brian Kupko, he actually sent me this fan film, Halloween Revisited, a while back actually, and it's one of those that I just, for one reason or another, I didn't get around to actually reviewing. And I've said this to you guys before in the past. I get sent fan films all the time, and most of the time I just don't have the time to do them. But I decided this week, because I decided, I was like, I'm going to go check out his fan film, and I'm going to check out like the info. What is this thing about? And he grabbed me immediately with the information that this was a fan film that came out in 2006, and it was literally going to be like a bonus feature on a Halloween release. And I'm thinking the Halloween 2007 release, correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, that came out, Halloween 2007, the Blu-ray that came out. And that was wild. I was like, can you imagine that? Like a bonus feature of an actual fan film, which I think is a great idea too, because Halloween is one of those movies, the first movie, that every release you get recycled documentaries, or if they add a new documentary, you don't really learn anything new. I know pretty much everything there is to know about the movie at this point. I would be shocked if I learned anything new. I see new pictures from time to time and stuff like that, but yeah. So I think it made more sense to actually include like a fan film or something like that, especially if it's good. So Brian's fan film is called Halloween Revisited, which is kind of funny because I have a series called Revisited now. Brian did this way before I even started my YouTube channel. I just didn't realize that there was a fan film out there called Halloween Revisited. So I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Okay, so I'm going to go check this out. And I'm gonna cut to the chase right now for Brian. I really enjoyed this fan film. And I'm being really honest here. It was refreshing and it was kind of cool. And I like that it took place immediately after the first movie. And it's kind of like a sidequel to the second movie. Because I think after watching this, the second movie can still exist. But this this literally takes place right after the first movie. But we kind of see... You remember in Halloween 2 where you saw Loomis at the beginning? You didn't see Myers for a little bit. Well, in this fan film, you see Myers like right away, like what Myers is doing, and he goes to this other house, and you got this couple that are watching Night of the Living Dead. George Hellman, I'll get to your super chat here in a minute. But yeah, they're watching Night of the Living Dead, and then it's just, a guy and a girl sitting on the couch, and then the girl, she gets up to go take a shower, and they're going to have some fun time after. And one thing that I thought was funny too was, like, while she's in the shower and Michael is doing all his stalking and everything, he keeps yelling like, "Can you get me some popcorn?" And he just constantly like, "Where's my goddamn?" And like by the end of the movie, I'm like, "Get this guy some fucking popcorn," because like he was just asking for popcorn throughout the whole thing. But the big thing I really liked about this, without spoiling everything, was I just loved the way it was shot. You could tell that this was a labor of love. There's some really kind of like long shots in the house when they're inside, and I think the best part too is like they utilized a shower scene, which is not something you see in the Halloween franchise that often. Actually, like I'm sitting there racking my brain thinking, are there any other shower scenes in the franchise? Maybe you guys can help me. I don't think so, at least not like this, where you literally see somebody taking a full-on shower and Myers is stalking her. And I'm not going to spoil it and tell you if he gets her or anything like that, but I will just say I was very pleased with how this movie turned out. I liked that it was quick. It was like freaking 19 minutes long, I think, but it felt even faster than that. It just flew right by. So I can't recommend it enough, actually. And I'm being dead serious with you guys. It's if you just type in Halloween Revisit, or you could probably click on Brian Kupko's link there. And he could link you right to it, but I'll put a link in my info box for it too, because I dug it. I really, I could tell that there was some passion and some hard work that went into this. And, I remember Brian was telling me about this H6. Yeah, there was a shower scene in H6, wasn't there? Thank you, Mikey. Very, very good call. But, I remember Brian was telling me that there's a mask that's at the beginning, because they have kind of a pumpkin intro. That it was interesting behind the scenes. He said they shot the scene, and I believe the mask got stolen. And so then the rest of the movie, the mask that's used in the movie is not the same mask that's in the opening credits. And it's a really, I like the mask that they used in the movie too, but it sucks to have your freaking mask stolen. Like I'd be freaking pissed off. But yeah, I'll definitely, Halloween 5 had a shower scene. Let me think. Hold on. Yeah, it did with Rachel. Well, in terms of like Michael being like right on, in the frame with the shower, this has that. So, and that's all I'm going to say, because like I said, I don't want to spoil anything, but it was very good. Let's put it this way. If this was an official movie in the franchise, right? And let's say if I had to compare this shower scene to all the other shower scenes that are in the franchise, like you got, this is the best. Like this is, no shit. Fan film or no fan film, this would be the best shower scene out of the whole franchise. I'll just say that, okay? So, yeah. I dug it, though. Definitely check it out. Halloween Revisited. And it's cool that it was going to be a bonus feature. I think that's awesome. That's really awesome, actually. I mean, can you imagine that? Just throwing in the Blu-ray and there, boom, there's like a fan film. You get to watch a little fan film on the side. Blue Raven Films, what's up, man? How you doing? Who else we got in there? Jason Nike, how you doing, brother? I know you're working. Man, you've been working your ass off. I was literally watching one of Jason's videos today. He was doing, it's kind of like a scene type commentary. He does like scenes, like he was doing one for Friday Part 4. I guess the finale of Friday Part 4. And he really gets into it, which is cool. I liked watching a YouTuber that projects, and you could tell that he's like excited and he's really getting into whatever he's doing. And Jason's on the right track. He's doing a good job. So yeah, definitely check out his channel. Good stuff. I dug that the Friday Part 4 video you just did. I thought that was cool. Taffer says, I really like Halloween 3 Silver Shamrock. Who doesn't? At this point, who doesn't like Halloween 3? Because I noticed, 10 years ago, there was a big audience that didn't like Halloween 3 at all. But now it just seems like as time goes by, everybody's starting to get, they're starting to come over to Halloween 3, which is cool. Zach, what's up, brother? Cavern of Terra. He's got that He Knows Your Name Indiegogo campaign coming up. He says, listening while doing some edits for the He Knows Your Name campaign. Loving this show, Lee. What's up, brother? Cool. Thanks, man. I'm gonna get Zach back on here, hopefully really soon. So, definitely before he kicks off this campaign, so we can talk about it some more. And it just seems like we keep getting more Scream news, which is kind of cool. Like literally any second now, we're gonna see news that Neve Campbell has officially signed on, because we know that Courtney Cox is signed on now. We know that David Arquette is signed on now. And those are two really big names. So it's just a matter of time. I can't imagine with those two signed on, there's no way that Neve Campbell's not being in this thing. There's no way. Otherwise, I think it's just a waste to even have I don't want to say a waste to have the movie. I mean, yeah, there still could be a good Scream movie without. But, I mean, Sidney Prescott is just so effective as a final girl. I think even more effective than Laurie Strode. There I go bashing Laurie Strode again. Jesus. But, I think she's extremely effective. Speaking of final girls, I got to mention this again. Last night when we were watching Terrifier, I was watching it with my patrons. It dawned on me that Tara, and I'm going to spoil Terrifier here for just a couple minutes, okay? I'd say 30 seconds, okay? So if you haven't seen Terrifier, you might want to go grab some popcorn or something like that, okay? But Tara, when she's in the I guess the first half of the movie, and they're really propping her up to be like a final girl. They spend a lot of time with the scene between her and Art, more time than most final girls get. And so of course we see her. Art ends up killing her and like shooting her in the head, and he even like straps her to the chair and makes her watch him saw the other girl in half. And Tara, I think it's sad that like if I had to do a list of non-final girls that really kicked ass, I think Tara might be number 1 or number 2. Helen, of course, from I Know What You Did Last Summer would definitely be in that top 5. But, after watching Terrifier again last night, I was really rooting for Tara. I was just like, damn, she does kick ass in this. It's a shame that she put up such a big fight and then she lost. But you know what? I got to say, I bet the actress that played Tara is pretty proud of that, because how many actresses that were not the final girl can say, I was killed, but I really kicked major ass. Most of them don't. Most of them that were killed can't make that claim. They're in their scene, they're hiding in front of a tree or something like that, and then the killer comes and slits their throat. Friday the 13th. That's usually the duration of a non-final girl kill. But big props to Damien Leone for actually writing a scene like that and carrying out a chase scene that's that awesome. Destiny's saying Tatum is another one of my favorites. Yeah, Tatum from Scream is a good one too, actually. She did kick ass. She freaking took the bottle and she like threw it at him and everything. I think the mask looked different in that scene too. It's one of those scenes like you're paying attention to Tatum so much that you're not looking at the mask that's on Ghostface. And if you really look at that mask, it looks different. And Zach could probably back me up on this, but the mask actually looks different than like the rest of the movie. It's because I think it was one of the early shoots when they first started, and like they changed the mask within like say the first quarter of the shoot, something like that. Crew member, what's up, man? Nice to see you in here. Hell yeah. Do we want to jump into H2O? I got funnies tonight for you guys too. Okay, but I think we're gonna jump into H2O here. We're rolling here, guys. It's only 8:30, so we've covered a lot of ground. Let me look at my list here, because I always have a. Actually, before we get into H2O, have you guys seen that new Halloween 4K for the first movie? And are you going to be stupid like me and order it, even though you've seen you have like 8 editions of the movie? Zach says 2 masks were used for the original, the Fun World and the K&B masks. Thank you very much. Which K&B ties into H2O. So there you go. K&B made one of the shittiest Halloween masks to ever exist. Ever. You can fight it. I didn't have luck. It's still on my account. If you get more, then I will. Oh, I think Beth's talking about YouTube bullshit. Brian Kupko says Scream 5 will be shot in Wilmington, North Carolina, 100%. Yeah, I read that. That's pretty awesome. I'll tell you, Wilmington, they're getting a lot of good horror stuff. A lot of good horror properties are coming to Wilmington. It's just a good place to shoot, I guess. Wasn't The Crow shot? I know The Crow was shot in North Carolina. Was it Wilmington? I think The Crow was shot in Wilmington. Yeah. A lot of movies, especially horror movies, are shot in Wilmington. I'm sure a lot of non-horror movies are too. I mean, I don't know everything, but yeah. George Hellman says he doesn't have a 4K player. Well, for this release, because I have the 4K edition. I have a couple 4K editions, actually, because Barry from Wolfman, he sent me the UK edition, and then I have the standard 4K edition. But then I saw this freaking cover. You know what? Let me pull up the cover real quick. Let me pull it up. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. I'm going to go to bestbuy.com. Let me go here. Hold on. Yeah, bestbuy.com. We're going to pull it up. Halloween. Yeah, here it is right here. Halloween. Look at that freaking cover, guys. Jesus. Isn't that great? I hate these freaking pop-up ads you get. Stupid. All right. Let me see if I can, like, pan over. There we go. I think that's better. Isn't that nice? That's gorgeous. You know, I think in this, like, little white area here, they could maybe try a little harder. Maybe put some more, like, fall, like, Halloween stuff. But beggars can't be cute choosers, I guess, right? But I do love the images there of Laurie and Michael with the leaves. It's kind of cool. Yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think? Are you guys ordering it or what? Let me know. I will admit I went ahead and placed my order, just because I'm a sucker for Halloween steelbooks. Okay. Let me show you. I still love this freaking steelbook. Hold on. All right, let's do a little show and tell, okay? Because I'm gonna show you my Halloween steelbook collection that I have, okay? Let me pull this up real quick. All right, so we're gonna start it off with this Halloween 2018 steel. This thing, there was a little bit of debate. People didn't like the font there, but man. To me, I like the font because it's not like every other font that you see. Do I say font weird? Font? If you say that 5 times real fast, it sounds real. Font. Maybe not. But how could you not like that? Jesus. That is beautiful. I freaking love it. I'm not going to open them up, but man, I'm glad I got that. I'm really glad I got that because I know it's sold out pretty quick. This is the Halloween 3. Yeah, Halloween 3 steelbook that Shout Factory put out. I still haven't even opened it yet. But this is a 4K transfer. It's not a 4K disc. It's a 4K master. But I had to have that because if you open it up, then it's like one picture and you'll see like there's a chest. And the chest actually has the Myers mask in it, which is cool. Chris, what's up, brother? I got to go up and catch that other super chat, too. Catch you later, Lee. The kid just home from Publix and Blackberry tea. You all rock. Thanks, Chris. You take care, brother. Chris posted on Killer Flicks today. He posted a picture. Post the last picture you took at a horror convention. And it brought a tear to my eye because I want to get back to that so bad. You know, I miss going to horror conventions, and somebody posted a convention that just happened, and it was just heartbreaking. You see the guy like standing in front of the table, and you got like Daniel Harris is like in the back, and they both have masks on. It just takes something away from the experience. So take care, Chris. George Hellman says, a fun antidote. When I first saw H2O in 2018, respectively, in cinemas, the film projector crapped out in key sequences. Different theaters, too. Huh, that's interesting. Don't you hate that, too, when the movie craps out in the middle? I've only had that happen, like, once. And I think it was for Captain America, the first Captain America. I think that, like, in the middle of the movie, it did that. And then they had to give us vouchers to come back and watch the movie again, which sucked. So, The next one I have here is Halloween 2, which is probably one of the most badass scenes, cover art that I have ever seen for a Halloween movie. Myers in the flames. I mean, damn, how do you beat that? Jesus. That's too awesome. This is the first Halloween steelbook I ever got, and this is a UK edition. And at the time when I bought it, I couldn't play it. This is the 2007 edition, I think, so I had that anyway, but now that I have a region-free player, I can play anything. If you guys don't have a region-free player, I can't recommend it enough because there's so many imports out there for horror films that are better than the US releases. So I can't recommend it enough. But the thing I love about this release is actually the back with Myers against the closet. It's just a cool picture. And this was a movie that Horror Pack sent me like last year, and I watched it, and it's She Kills. She Kills is the weirdest freaking movie I've ever seen, and it's bad, but it's so goddamn entertaining, and it's edited like it's like they took a movie that was supposed to be a revenge type Crow type story, and they got somebody to edit it that's a comedy editor. That's what it feels like when you watch this movie. It's bonkers, and it's hilarious. So, Angel Lopez, thank you very much, says, hey, I never watched much of your lives, but due to your love of horror, whenever I watch your channel, I get this homey feeling. Love your content. Well, thank you. That's the feeling I get with you guys. I feel like I'm hanging out with brothers and sisters, horror brothers and sisters. You guys freaking rock. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I was thinking about like the Grinch again today, and this time I'll keep it off. Hold on. Speaking of Danielle Harris, she did sign that for me when I did go. The Halloween 4 from the UK VHS, which is beautiful. I always do a little bit of show and tell in here, right? Okay, let's jump into H2O, the main event. This is what we're all here for. I took some notes. Let me just take you back to like when I saw this in the theater. I had seen Halloween 6 in the theater. I walked away elated. I enjoyed the hell out of that movie. It was a different Halloween movie than I had ever seen. And I think the lab masker pretty much sums it up, because I was like, wow, they really went for it with the violence in this movie and how dark Myers can get. And keep in mind too, guys, this was way before the internet and opinions, like a million opinions on Halloween movies. So when I came out of this movie, and I didn't look at reviews of movies back then. I was a horror lover that just watched movies and went about my day. I didn't watch horror movies and then go to Siskel and Ebert and go to all these different and say, ooh, I want to know what this guy thinks about it. And I want to know what I didn't give a fuck what anybody thought about it. I had my own experience, and I just enjoyed it for what it was. And when I came out of Halloween 6, I was like, that's one of my favorite Halloween movies. I don't know what anybody else thinks about it. I don't really care what anybody else thinks about it. I freaking love this movie. That was... so yeah, DTN2 Horror says Halloween 6 was his first in theaters. It was my second. I saw third actually. I saw Halloween 4 and 5. So I got to see the Thorn trilogy in theaters. How badass is that? Look at me bragging about myself. My wife always tells me that too. She's like, you can't give yourself credit, okay? And then say, that was a good idea. She says, why did you say that was a good idea? It was your idea. And I'm like, I think you're right. But, so anyway, after Halloween 6, I remember I would read like horror magazines. I think I was reading Fangoria. And I saw Weatherboy. Let me read his super chat real quick. I recently watched The Thing a couple of days ago, and it immediately went up to my number one favorite sci-fi horror film of all time. Reboots Gone Silent. Yeah, man. The Thing will knock your freaking socks off. What a freaking movie. Yeah, that's not a surprising statement at all. It's just, the only bad thing is, like, if you watch The Thing, every other sci-fi movie you watch after that's not going to compare. And they might be good, but The Thing is just... It's just one of those anomalies that just reaches levels of horror that you can't possibly imagine. John freaking Carpenter, okay? Ennio Morricone, Kurt Russell. So many different things that just make the thing what it is. But anyway, jumping back over to H2O. So I was reading in Fangoria magazine, and at the time they called it Halloween 7. And they were saying, I believe they were saying Halloween 7 is in production. It's coming. And I don't remember if they mentioned Jamie Lee Curtis at the time or not. I don't know. I don't remember if they did or not. But finally, when the movie started, ramping up and you got all the marketing campaign, this movie was marketed heavily, like tenfold over what Halloween, like Halloween 6, you had a little TV spot here and there. I might have seen 2 TV spots for Halloween 6. I remember when H2O came out, almost every other commercial was a TV spot for H2O. They were taking this really seriously. They were, because keep in mind too, after Halloween 6, it was a failure at the box office. So they were going to go direct to video. But then Jamie Lee Curtis comes along, and I'm sure that when Jamie Lee Curtis stepped on set, she probably said, all this bullshit that happened, and that's her opinion, not mine. All this bullshit that happened in 4, 5, and 6, get rid of it, okay? I wasn't in those movies, so those movies don't exist. I'm sure that that's what Jamie Lee Curtis probably said to somebody. And they said, yes, ma'am. Because that's the power of Jamie Lee Curtis. She puts butts in seats, especially when it comes to the H word. So, just to skip forward, the movie comes out. I was excited for this movie. I am not going to lie. I was completely like, wow, this is going to be great. I can't wait to see this. The marketing campaign was good. It was a good marketing campaign. The movie looked, I could tell from the trailers that this was not going to be what Halloween 6 was. This was a slicker production. I got that. Scream had come out 2 years before this. So I saw that even in the trailers. I was like, oh, they're marketing this kind of like Scream. Even the poster looks kind of like Scream. And I remember back then, too, when they would do TV spots, they would post these little blips from critics. And they always used certain words like hip and scary. Hip and scary. And it seems like they said hip, like they used that word hip in every horror movie that was coming out, especially under Dimension Films. I see Jason from Sinister Cinema Reviews in there. What's up, brother? One day I'll get him on a stream, guys. He's so goddamn hard-headed. One day. And right away, fuck H2O. There we go. It's going to get passionate. I haven't even gotten to my full opinion on H2O, even though I'm sure most of you guys know it. But so I wonder if Jason hates H2O even more than I do, because I don't hate the movie. We'll get to that. I'm pacing myself. Okay, let me take a drink. Jesus, I don't have an H2O mask. All right, I have a Halloween. Let's see. Let's go backwards. I got Halloween 2018. I got 4, 5, and 6. So I have the Thorn trilogy of masks, and I got the mechanic or the wrap from Sean Michael Cadlick. That beautiful, beautiful man sent me that freaking wrap that's back there. Can you guys see it? If I move, yeah, you can see it. It's all lit up back there. But yeah. So anyway, I go to the theater to see this movie. It was pretty packed, I remember. It was a pretty packed theater. By the way, guys, H2O was not number 1 its first weekend. I believe it was Snake Eyes with Nicolas Cage that took number 1. I'll have to go back and do my research, okay? I do have an H2O Funko. Thank you very much, Holly. Matter of fact, I'll show it to you guys. Hold on. This is a stream, guys, okay? I'll take as long as I fucking want, all right? This isn't a review, okay? This is a stream, so I can take my time. If I want to show my H2O Funko, by golly, I'll show my H2O Funko. Hold on. Yeah. H2O Funko. That is a badass Funko. I do love that Funko. And here's the thing. The mask on the Funko, better than any mask in the movie, okay? There we go. Packed theater. I'm watching the movie. I am annoyed when I'm watching this movie. It was one of those situations. You ever go to the theater for, like, you're a massive fan of X movie, right? Let's say Star Wars, whatever. So when you're a massive fan of certain movies, you have these expectations. You have these boxes that you want checked off along the way as you're watching it. I'm so passionate about the Halloween franchise that when I'm watching one of these movies in the theater, I literally I'm shaking. I can't even function. And I'm just like, it's like my brain is intensified so much, and I'm taking everything in, and I'm like I could watch a 4-hour Halloween movie if the first time, not like the second or third time, but the first time, no matter what they throw at me, I can't get enough. It's just like, that's how much I love this series. That's how much I love Myers. That's the truth. I know that the YouTube is full of Halloween channels that annoy the fuck out of everybody, and I'm one of them, I'm sure. But there's a reason, I guess, that we're all this freaking crazy about Halloween. And it is annoying, okay? I will say that. I do get sick of Halloween Kills updates. I'm with you, okay? I understand, all right? I didn't want to call this Halloween related. I tried not to. And then I found out that H2O is celebrating an anniversary, and I thought, you know what? I don't talk about H2O enough. I'll do this one time, okay? But I'm going to try to veer away from Halloween Kills talk, okay? Because I am getting kind of annoyed with myself. And plus, it's like, if I talk about the franchise too much, it kind of dampens it a little bit. And I don't want to get to the point where when Halloween Kills comes out, I've talked about the movie ad nauseum. And I'm like, I'm so sick of talking about this fucking movie. All right? I went on a rant here didn't I? Jesus. Mikey Weiss says, call me crazy, but I have never noticed the CGI mask until joining the horror community. Let me think about that for a sec. Did I ever? No, the first time I noticed the CGI mask was 25 Years of Terror. So I guess that would technically be the horror community. Before 25 Years of Terror, I did notice something was off in that scene when he turns and he looks at the guy. And before I found out that it was a CGI mask, I just thought there was something with the lighting there, something that was off, but it was noticeable for sure. But, I almost knocked down my drink. But, Packed House, and I just talked to you about my anticipation, my checking the boxes along the way. And so this movie's going along, and the thing that kept jumping out at me, and a lot of people will argue with me on this, but I kept thinking in my mind, Scream, Scream, Scream. Scream. It was just, and it wasn't even like I wanted to say Scream. It just came out of my head. I couldn't help but just say, that's Scream. That's what they're doing. That's Scream. And one big reason for that didn't help the matter was the score. The score for this movie completely ruined it for me, for the most part. We're going to get into stuff I do like about H2O. So you guys that love H2O, this is not going to be a shit fest, okay? I do have some fun with the movie. I'm going to say that right now. So don't leave the chat just yet, okay? Stay with me here, all right? The good stuff is coming, okay? But the score is probably my least. It's not the laziest score. Obviously not. Halloween 5 is the laziest score. But as far as like, John Ottman went for something. He wanted a bigger, more orchestral score. And to me, it fell on its face because they forgot what is Halloween about. Halloween is simplicity. Halloween is not big orchestral type of scores. Funny enough, Carpenter, when he did the first movie, he said he didn't have the budget to make a big score. He probably wouldn't have minded it, but he had so little money to put into the movie itself and the score that he said, I'm going to have to do the score myself, and I'm going to have to make this as simple as possible. Sometimes a low budget is a good thing. That's what happened. Sometimes a low budget can turn out a better movie. And I think that's why Jaws is so good. That's why Halloween is so good. There's so many examples of movies that had low budgets that ended up being classics. Blair Witch Project. Half of you hate the Blair Witch Project in there. I know that. But the Blair Witch Project is a movie that's still going to be talked about 10, 20 years from now because it was low budget and it was effective. It was a very effective movie. But anyway, yeah, I'm watching H2O. Another thing is the movie is short as fuck. Like, it's the shortest Halloween movie. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm sure I'm right on this. It's like 82 minutes or something like that. So I remember when it was over, I was just like, wait, that's it? That's it? The final act in this movie is just so goddamn fast. I mean, as soon as it's go time, as soon as Myers stabs Laurie's boyfriend and picks him up, with the nurse lift type kill, from that point on till the time she chops his head off, it's like, it might be the fastest last act out of any movie in the franchise. It just goes by so damn quick. And that's the best part of the movie. Here's the good stuff, guys. The last act in this movie is good. It's fun. When Laurie grabs that axe, goes up, and screams at the top of her lungs, Michael, I was like, because I was annoyed up to that point, and then I'm like, fuck yes, here we go. Let's do this. Let's give me a good half-hour final act. Let's kick this into like a Carpenter old school Halloween vibe, and let's just get dirty. And I didn't fully get that, and what I did get just flew by really quick. It was, like I said, it was entertaining. Jamie Lee Curtis, she did kick ass. She saves this movie. That last act, I got it. All the credit goes to Jamie Lee Curtis. She did kick major ass. Chill bumps when she screams out Michael, and chill bumps when she chops his head off. When you get to the end of this movie, just to give my reaction, when I was sitting in the theater, I didn't think she was gonna, I knew that they were gonna have to make another movie. This is Jamie Lee Curtis coming back. If this thing's big, which they're thinking it's gonna be big, there's no way they're not making another movie after this. So, sitting in the theater, Myers is pinned up against a freaking van and a tree, between a van and a tree, and she literally walks up to him and she chops his fucking head off. And I remember the theater, just a collective gasp, like, holy shit. They really did it. This is it. This is the end. They chopped his head off. And for me personally, I felt sad for a moment. I felt this, my heart sunk, because I am such a Myers fanboy. And I thought about Mustafa Akkad too, because Mustafa Akkad, I think, did Mustafa, Mustafa was still alive. But Mustafa's thing was too, he was like, never kill my boy. You can do whatever you want, you can shoot him, but don't kill him. And so, behind the scenes after all this went down, because when I'm sitting there in the theater, I'm like, how in the fuck are they going to bring him back? Like, what's going to, how are they going to do this? If I would have really thought about it, but I'm not that smart. If I would have really thought about it, I probably would have put 2 and 2 together and think, oh, this is a freaking cop-out. That's what it is. That's not Myers. That's what they're going to do. They're going to do the bait and switch. But in my mind, I was thinking, they're not gonna do something that freaking lame, are they? It's not gonna be that weak, are they? Are they gonna like rip this freaking great ending? Like, this could, like H2O, if it's the last movie in the franchise, as bad as it is, it's not an abomination, and the ending makes it a fitting ending to the franchise. Okay, we're done. It's not nearly the level of the first movie, but at least we can move on. Even though I kind of have my problems with that too, because H2O ignores 4, 5, and 6. So where do they stand? So H2O was the start of the complete clusterfuck of the continuity with this franchise. Keep in mind, before H2O, up to 6, we had a streamlined continuity. 1 to 6 was one straight continuity whatsoever. As soon as H2O comes into the picture, it completely fucks everything up, because it takes place after part 2. And then every movie you do after H2O, there's that question in your mind, okay, now what does this take place after? Are we ignoring this movie, or does this movie exist? There's always that question. So, also, this was before, like, H2O came out before the remake craze. Quite a few years, like, the remake craze really started with Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 2003. There are remakes that took place, of course, before, or that happened before Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But yeah, I think Texas Chainsaw Massacre was the one that was like, everybody was really into, and all of a sudden, after it was a success, they constantly were just pumping out remakes over and over and over and over again. So this came out at a different time. You know, this came out at a time where you didn't think, okay, we'll end this movie and we'll start fresh with a reboot. Because I guarantee you, if this movie came out during the remake craze, that would have been the end of the franchise. They would have rebooted right after. But we wouldn't have gotten H2O. I mean, we wouldn't have gotten Halloween Resurrection. Which, I mean, I've heard some people that don't like H2O state that they prefer Resurrection, which is freaking crazy. I still much prefer H2O over Resurrection. Nazgo, what's up, man? He says, the original Halloween trilogy DVD set is great for parties because you watch the first two and do coke off the... Oh, that's great. Not a Halloween 3 fan? Dino, what's up, brother? Here's my question. Is Halloween 3 better on coke? And I love Halloween 3. Disregard that question. That's a bad question. But it does make one ponder. Just because you got to be on coke to do what Colonel Cochran wanted to do. Like, Colonel Cochran wanted to freaking kill every child on the planet. Colonel Cochran was Thanos, I guess, before Thanos. You know, Thanos owes a huge debt to Colonel Cochran. Unless, of course, Thanos was a character that was written before Halloween 3. I'm not sure. I'm not like a big comic book buff. I love comic book movies, but I don't read comic books. So, yeah, Beth, Resurrection is my least favorite too. Definitely my least favorite. Okay, we're still not done with H2O. We're not done with it. Hold on. Let me pull up my list here. Because there's still some things we got to discuss. Let me go back up here. Okay. So I talked about ignoring the last 3 movies. Now, there was a scene in this. Like, they could have made this movie and the last 3 movies could have still existed. There was a scene in the classroom where Laurie tells the story of, her daughter dying. Something like that. But just that one little scene would have tied everything up. Joshua, what's up, brother? I'm doing good, brother. How you doing? Yeah. Halloween 3 rocks, Dino. Hell yeah. So yeah, that's another thing too. Like, those movies could have existed. And then you would have had a perfect streamline. I talked about the score. I talked about it being the shortest Halloween. Okay, here's a topic, and I wrote this down as Miner, not Carpenter. Okay, this is if you're looking for a title to this segment of the stream, this is called Miner, not Carpenter. George Hellman, thanks. Resurrection was a straight to DVD fanfic that somehow got officially made. H2O had a bad mask, but Resurrection was worst. And Resurrection almost did go straight to DVD because the movie was made and they were going to put it out in 2001. Because I remember following this online, like with a fine-tooth comb. I was curious to see what they were going to do with Resurrection. So it was shelved for a whole year, and then they finally did release it in the summer, which that's another topic we're going to get to here in a sec, which is the dumbest fucking thing you could ever do for a franchise that's called Halloween. But okay, Miner, not Carpenter. That is one of the reasons why H2O is the way H2O is. John Carpenter in the 90s wasn't the director that he was in the 80s and 70s. So if Carpenter did, and they sought Carpenter out, they wanted Carpenter to direct this. I would have been over the moon if Carpenter directed H2O. Can you imagine the possibilities if Carpenter, because there's no way Carpenter would have made a Scream movie. I just don't see that happening. I think Carpenter would have, I think he would have taken the movie seriously, and I'm not saying that Miner didn't take it seriously, but Miner, we all know Miner did Friday Part 2 and 3. I don't think Miner was that big of a Halloween fan. Like, the Mask debacle was a direct result of Steve Miner, because he wasn't well versed in the Mask at all. Thank you, Erica. I don't know about Coke, but weed with Halloween 3 tripped me out. Boom. There you go. Yeah, Steve Miner, the reason the mask debacle even happens because they didn't know what they wanted to do with the mask. The first mask that was going to be used was a version of the Halloween 6 mask. John Carl Buechler kind of made some adjustments to the 6 mask to make it look more kind of like the first mask without getting them into legal trouble. And Steve Miner wasn't aware of this. And so then they get the mask on the set, and you can see it in that opening scene with the nurse. I always forget her name. She was from the first movie, though. You can see the curse mask in there. And then after that, the next day of shooting, Steve Miner sees that mask, and he's like, I don't like that mask. So then they get the K&B mask, which is the worst Myers mask possible. And you really got to be looking to even find the K&B mask, but they shot a big portion of the movie with the K&B mask. And then in the middle of shooting, when they're looking at dailies, somebody says, guys, that's not Michael Myers at all. That mask is horrible. And they had already shot a ton of footage. So then Steve Miner, the point I'm trying to make here, Steve Miner, not a big Halloween fan, say what you want about Halloween 2018. David Gordon Green, big fan of the franchise. Just a big fan of the franchise. He's said this in interviews. You can see his passion for the franchise. You can see that he had the bat in his hand with Halloween 2018, and he took a swing. He had something that he was wanting to do. He had a vision, and it didn't land for everybody, but it was Halloween. And so when people try to tell me that H2O is better than Halloween 2018, and that's a debate definitely to be had. I'm not saying that they're wrong. It's all opinions. I can't get past the vibe and the tone and the way that movie's directed. It doesn't feel like Halloween to me. If I'm watching H2O and I take Halloween out of my brain and I watch it like I'm watching a Scream type knockoff movie, I could probably enjoy it more, because if you compare H2O and you take Halloween out of it and you compare it to any other 90s slasher, it's fine. It fits in with that mold. There's nothing horrible about it. But Halloween fans, I think they hold their franchise up to a certain standard. But now here's the thing. A lot of you guys love H2O, and that's awesome. I think a lot of fans, H2O was their very first movie that they saw in the theater. And so I can totally buy that. If this is the first Halloween movie that you've seen in a theater, or maybe even first Halloween movie you ever seen, period, you're probably going to like it more than, say, guys like me who grew up on the first movie, saw the fourth movie in the theater. Halloween H2O is not Halloween 4 at all in tone whatsoever. Halloween 4 is atmosphere. That movie is full-blown. It's an atmosphere enema. And Halloween 6 is even more. It's an atmosphere enema with cocaine. That's what Halloween 6 is. I missed a super chat up here. Hold on just a sec. I do get passionate talking about Halloween. I apologize. I do get a little bit too passionate. I need to tone it down a bit. Joshua Frostoff says, I'm doing good. H2O was my first watch. There you go, Joshua. You just proved my point. First watch in the theater. I like that they had Jamie Lee Curtis and her mom play in the same movie. I don't mind seeing Jamie Lee Curtis in a Halloween movie, but I did feel like she was kind of shoehorned in there. And I didn't really like that they had the little musical cue from Psycho. That, to me, that just gets in the way of my Halloween movie, and that's my opinion, of course. I have to constantly keep saying that, even though you guys know it's my opinion. So it's like I feel bad for knocking a movie that some of you absolutely love H2O. You do, and I love you for that. I think that's awesome that you love this movie so much. I do. There's movies I love that you're laughing at, like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I love that movie. And you're like, why in the fuck would you ever love Rob Zombie's Halloween 2? That's the franchise, though. That's any horror franchise. That's Friday the 13th. You're going to get people that love Friday Part 5, and you're going to get people that hate Friday Part 5. That's part of the fun of being a horror fan, right? At the end of the day, it's just fun. It's just being a horror fan. And it's cool if you love H2O. It really is. But Steve Miner's not John Carpenter. God damn it. Okay. All right. You know what though? I will say this. I'm glad that H2O exists. It has its place in the franchise. It's fine for being there. There's some fun to be. Now let's get into the goods. Okay, we're gonna get into the good. I promised you guys some good. Let me make sure I covered all my steps here though. Oh no, hold on. we still got to talk about some bad. Hold on, just a sec. This is my stream. All right, I'm gonna get it all out. All right, hold on. Releasing Halloween films in the summer, and I kind of touched on this, so I'm not gonna spend too much time on it. But and I can't blame H2O for this. This is just a marketing screw up in general. For I don't know why. Like Halloween 5 was the last Halloween movie before Halloween 2018 that was released in October. It was a perfect time to release the movies. It got you more in the spirit of it. So Halloween 6 comes out. They release it in September, which is fine. I don't mind a Halloween movie released in September because we're getting ready for October. Okay. H2O was the start of this. H2O was released in August, this week. Actually, that's why we're here. And it was still bright and shiny and hot outside. It didn't feel like Halloween at all. And then when I'm watching this movie, what does it look like in H2O? It looks like California. It's bright and sunny. It's like art imitating life, I guess. It feels like a summer slasher. Okay, that's what H2O feels like. It doesn't feel like a Halloween slasher. It feels like a summer slasher. And that's fine. But that's a gripe I have with any Halloween movie that's not released appropriately. You know, time frame wise. Okay, here's my last one that I'm going to dig on this movie, and then I'll talk about some good stuff, okay? Carpenter told Castle to just walk. This is something I wrote down. Carpenter told Castle, just walk. That's what he told Nick Castle. Nick Castle said, what's my motivation here? I want to do a good job on this. And what did Carpenter say to him? Just walk. That was Carpenter. Carpenter was so simple, and he was so much of a genius that we thought, this guy's got to be, like this guy's intimidating. I'm sure if I ask him what's my motivation, he's going to say, oh, you got to do this, and you got to do this, and I want you to think about this too. And no, it was the opposite. Carpenter said, hey, Nick, just walk. Don't even think about it. Just go. Just walk. I'll roll the camera. You can just walk. Who's the best Michael Myers in the whole franchise? I'll let you guys say it out loud in unison, okay? Nick fucking Castle. Nick Castle is the best, arguably, the best Michael Myers out of the whole franchise. You know why? Because he had a good director that knew exactly what he wanted. And he told him, Nick, just walk. That's it. You're going to be the greatest Myers ever. You just got to walk. That's all you got to do. What did Nick do? He walked. And Carpenter took care of the rest. Carpenter put the camera in a way that scared the fuck out of the audience. And there's my guy. Look at him. He's just walking. He just listens to me. He's doing a great job. Good job, Nick. Just walk. That's all he did. Okay, let's go over to H2O now. Chris Duran, I have nothing against Chris Duran. I am almost positive that Chris Duran asked for direction on this movie, as any good actor should. What is my motivation here? What should I do? I don't know what Steve Miner's answer to that question was. I don't know if Chris Duran took it upon it. Actually, I do know this. I do know this because I saw an interview with Chris Duran. Chris Duran, I don't think he had any direction. I think Chris Duran, I don't know how into the franchise he was, but Chris Duran wanted to make this his own. Good on you, Chris Duran, okay? Luis Nunez, his favorite's James Jude Courtney. I can't argue with that. James Jude Courtney did an amazing job. You know why? Because David Gordon Green told him, just walk. That's why you like James Jude Courtney the best. But Chris Duran, he didn't have a director there to say, well, no. What you're doing, you're trying to walk like a cat. No, there's no fucking cats in this movie, okay? This is Michael Myers. And what does Michael Myers do? He just walks. That's it. Chris Durand didn't have that. So I can't blame Chris Durand. I can't be an asshole to Chris Durand. He did what he thought up in his mind. I'm going to do this cat guy. I'm going to put my head down like this, and I'm going to walk like I'm going to pounce on somebody. Because that's scary, right? Nope. That's not Michael Myers. Michael Myers doesn't walk like a cat and pounce on anybody. He doesn't do that. You know what he does? He just fucking walks. That's it. And then the director makes him look scary as hell. That's what he does. And I got a big problem with the Michael Myers that's in a Halloween H2O. And it doesn't help that there's 4 different masks. And, as you know, like I said, I was talking about this earlier. You take Halloween out of the picture. If he's just a normal slasher, fine. The cat slasher. They should have named Halloween H2O. They should have called it the cat slasher. This guy looks like... He does a great job acting like a cat, doesn't he? He's fucking amazing. Look at him pounce. He's awesome. But this is Halloween. This is Halloween H2O. This is Jamie Lee Curtis returning to the franchise. And this should be amazing. And for some of you it was. And I love that. That's awesome. Okay? This is my feelings on the movie. All right? Just walk. All right. Now let's get into the good. All right? We got through it. We got through all the bad stuff. Now let's talk about some of the good stuff. Meow Myers. That's what they should have called it. Meow Myers. Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee Curtis was great in H2O. I'll even say this. Because you could do a pro-cons list for both Halloween 2018 and for H2O. I don't know why I'm comparing it to Halloween. Actually, I know why I'm comparing it to Halloween 2018. Because everybody compares H2O to Halloween 2018 because Jamie Lee Curtis comes back in both movies. So I get it. Jamie Lee Curtis was better in H2O than she was in Halloween 2018. And she was good in Halloween 2018. I think I prefer her in H2O. I do, for the most part. I don't think she's perfect in H2O, but I do prefer her in the movie. I think she came focused. She knew what she wanted to do in this movie. I think it's just everything that was around her was my problem with the movie. But I didn't mind Jamie Lee Curtis from start to finish. I liked that. You know, she was an alcoholic. I like that scene where she's talking about she's been through everything with self-help, just all these different coping techniques. I like that they explored that stuff, you know. I like at the opening of the movie when you see her screaming and you see the scar on her arm. And you see her son, Josh Hartnett, going to get her medication and all that stuff. That's great stuff. I really loved how they dug into Laurie Strode as a character. Got a super chat. Let me go grab that real quick, and then we'll keep talking about Jamie Lee Curtis. I would walk 500 miles, and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walked 1,000 miles to come break down your door. Thank you. Appreciate that, George. Okay. Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis was great in this movie from start to finish. She gave me chill bumps. She really did. I thought she was badass in H2O. I think she really tapped into, you know, you could tell she loved the character Laurie Strode, and she really wanted to come back because I don't think she was finished exploring the character. Jamie Lee Curtis has went on record behind the scenes basically stating that she did H2O for the money. I don't know if I believe her on that because when she made that statement, she was in the middle of a promotion for Halloween 2018. And of course, you're going to want to prop up the movie that you're currently promoting. So maybe she gave a slight diss to H2O because she wanted people to like her more in Halloween 2018. That's my guess. I don't know. Because I remember when she was promoting H2O, she was pretty passionate about the character. She was glad that she was coming back. She did state that she was coming back for the fans. But, you know, she really did a great job as Laurie Strode in H2O, so I cannot take that away from her. Josh Hartnett. The young cast wasn't bad in this movie, actually. I liked Josh Hartnett. I liked Michelle Williams. I thought she was good. Yeah, I don't have a problem with the young... Like, they weren't annoying. at all. You know, they weren't Trent from Friday, the Friday remake. Can you imagine Trent and H2O? Jesus. Blood Red Skies, she does every Halloween sequel for the money. Well, I mean, that's her profession. That's her job. But I think if you told Jamie Lee Curtis, you do this just for the money, I think she'd probably throw tomatoes at you, and then she'd say, I'm in a profession that I love. I'm lucky enough to do something that I love. I can tell that Jamie Lee Curtis loves acting. She's very good at it. So I don't buy that she does it just for the money. The money doesn't hurt, of course. I'm sure she makes a bigger paycheck off of Halloween than she does, off of any of her other movies. So I'm not saying she doesn't like the money, but you look at her passion for Halloween 2018, and I think that she loves working with David Gordon Green. Like, you always see those two together in like your promotional material and everything. I don't remember too much with her and Steve Miner. I didn't see that working relationship, that passion with H2O like I saw with this movie. Jamie Lee Curtis was genuinely excited for Halloween 2018. I think she prefers her performance in Halloween 2018, which is good, over H2O. I can't speak for her. That's just the vibe I get. But Jamie Lee Curtis, I mean, she's great, and of course, I've already mentioned this, when she comes with the axe and she screams Michael, just freaking chill bumps. She is the star of that movie. I like that, we got Jamie Lee Curtis coming back, and she's not a side character. She is front and center. She is a leader, and she completely kicks ass. Jamie Lee Curtis kicks ass in H2O. I have to give it that. I think that's about it for the good. I hate the score. It's a nice score to, like, if I had the score on vinyl and I was like listening to it, it's got some nice sounds, but it's not Halloween. And I hate the freaking score in H2O. It just, there's that one little moment when, at the beginning, when you hear like Loomis's voice, and then the guy's like, yeah, right. And then that one little cue is cool. I will say that it's like, how would you like to hear Halloween in like an orchestral version of Halloween? Oh, I'll go on YouTube and check that out. That's pretty cool. Don't really want it in my Halloween movie, though. Unless it had a specific purpose, like 99% of the score was Halloween. A different, because every sequel has a little bit of a different variation of that score, but it's still Halloween. But for some reason, with H2O, it didn't feel like Halloween to me, anyway. So if they would have like utilized a little bit of that for a certain scene, maybe, and I don't know what that scene would be, then maybe it would have been cool. But I even, like, when I did my Halloween H2O Revisited, there's a section in there where I'm talking about the score, and I took out the actual score from the movie for a scene, and I put in just one of the cues from the first movie. And I said, imagine this scene right here where you see Laurie walking, and she closes her eyes, and then every time she opens them, she sees Myers walking towards her. And so I took that cue out, and in the review, I put a cue from the first Halloween, and it gives you chill bumps. I think it's 10 times more effective. And I remember and I hate to pat myself on the back, but it was just an experiment, and there were people literally like messaging me saying, that was really cool how you put that little, that comparison of the music. It kind of opened my eyes to what H2O could have been. Like, it would be cool if you could have like a fan edit of H2O, and this would almost be impossible, where you could take out the score and add an actual like Halloween score. It doesn't have to be exact same as the first movie, but yeah. So again, my opinion, I just don't like the orchestral score. Maybe it does work for H2O because the whole movie feels different. And if I don't think about it like Halloween, then maybe, and I could say that about Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 as well. As much as I love that movie, it's not really a Halloween movie. It doesn't even use the Halloween score whatsoever. It's a completely different movie. It just happens to be a movie I love. A post-traumatic slasher. That's what I would call Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Me and Jason Smith did a full-on commentary breaking down everything about that movie. I'll put it in my showcase playlist that's on my main page, so you guys can check it out, because we break that movie down and we pretty much talk about all this stuff that we love about it. It was a love fest, of course, because we both love that movie. But that one and H2O are two completely different. So H2O Producers Cut. Yeah, there you go, George Hellman. And another thing, Dave Vanderhoff's John Ottman Portrait of Terror. One thing I forgot to mention, John Ottman did not get his fully realized score in the movie. A lot of the scenes, they took out his score and they put like snippets from like Scream and stuff like that. So John Ottman himself was pretty disappointed in what they did with his score. And his, like Dave just posted there, if you look up John Ottman Portrait of Terror, that is pretty much his intended score for H2O. So, and some of the cues are in there, of course, but they did strip away a lot of it, especially in like the action scenes. And I think that's it. I think I pretty much, holy crap, 9:30 already, guys. Jesus. It's time for Funnies. Are you guys ready for Funnies? I really, you know what? As much as I shit on any given movie, it's still always fun to talk about, right? And if H2O does anything right, it gives you a lot to discuss. That's one thing. Out of all the movies in the franchise, I can easily talk about H2O the most, just because of how different it is, and talking about how it does have a fan base that loves it to death. What's up, Sam Coco? What up? How you doing, brother? Okay, you guys ready for Funnies? I'm ready to do some Funnies. Let me take a drink here. I got a lot of Funnies for you guys today too, okay? First off, before I got to give big thanks, Beth S. sent me a couple, and Chris Snyder sent me a couple in there too. And there's a few, like Ashley Morrow's got one in there, I think. Matthew Meyer, I used one of his. So, and sometimes you'll see their name on there, and sometimes you won't. So I just wanted to give them a big thank you up front. And then some of these I found myself. I look through a lot of different apps, and yeah. So anyway, gonna take a drink, and then here we go. Oh Jesus! Did I show you guys this? Did I show you guys the Max Funko? I don't remember if I showed that the last one or not. From Stranger Things Season 2. I just love that when she ran out and she had the Myers mask on. But yeah, I think that was a Hot Topic exclusive. All right, Funnies, here we go. Let me get you guys over there. Oh, I put it on a different thing. I forgot to talk about this real quickly. Okay, in my previous vlog that I did, or this vlog that I just released, Beth warned me that you're gonna run, if you get into vinyl, you're gonna run into these vinyl elitists. And I don't know if that's the term she used, but that's what I'm gonna use. I guess with any niche hobby that you get into, there are gonna be elitists in there that think that their shit doesn't stink. And they think that if you use something that's not the top of the line, then you're a poser or something like that. So I got this this message from this guy, and his screen name is I Flaunted, I think, which is a take on I Farted maybe, or something like that. I don't know, but he says, because I got a new vinyl player recently, a Vitrola, which I love, by the way. It sounds amazing, okay? It's definitely an upgrade. It's not the highest dollar. It's $99. I got it FYE, okay? But he says, I'm sorry to say, that is a vinyl player in name only. Vinyl lovers must be pulling their hair out. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, man? Are you serious? My response to him was, that's funny, because when I put the record on and I put the needle on it, sounds come out. That's pretty much what it comes. Sounds come out that I like. Okay, I'm sorry that I enjoy it and you don't, but I got kind of pissed off by that. It's like, because if you are a lover and you're passionate of whatever it is that you're into, and if you want to buy the nicest vinyl player out there, go for it. Enjoy it, but don't make a comment like that to somebody that just got into the, I mean, you're representing the vinyl community. And when you make statements like that your shit doesn't stink to somebody that just got in the community, I'm sure there's people in the vinyl community, Beth being one of them, that are like the nicest, coolest people you can possibly, 99% of them are probably the opposite of I flaunted there. But, you're always going to get, and it goes with any niche. You're always going to get that guy that says something like that. But there was a little exchange, and he did kind of come around, and he did tell me that I'm paraphrasing, but he basically said, if I came across as rude, I didn't mean to, but I'm just trying to help. And I told him, I was like, well, if you're trying to help, there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. And again, I'm paraphrasing. You can go to that vlog and you can check it out and you can see the exchange. But I was just like, are you kidding me, dude? Like, seriously? Okay. Anyway, that's not even on my funnies. Okay. All right, so let's go to funnies. All right, so first one. MTV turns 39 this year. Thanks for 14 years of music. I had to throw in a good music one in there because Todd Fair, thank you. Halloween 2018 was a terrible movie, and I heard Halloween Kills is worse and is the worst in the franchise. Thanks, Todd. MTV turns 39 this year. Thanks for the 14 years of music, because you know what? MTV stopped doing music a long time ago. Long time ago. All right. Next one. This is one I've seen floating around quite a bit. Nicolas Cage with his mask on. I saw this quite a bit actually recently. Todd, I hope I didn't come across as rude. I know you probably hate Halloween 2018, and there's a big audience out there. Like the guy that I was reading on Twitter. Obviously, he hates Halloween 2018. I get that. That's cool. I'm glad. You know what? It's an opinion. I'm glad you hate Halloween 2018. That's awesome. Hey, let me ask you this, Todd, though. Okay, what did you think about James Jude Courtney in the movie? What did you think about the Michael Myers of Halloween 2018? I'm curious to see what you think. Because honestly, if you don't like him, and that's an opinion, you'd be the first that ever said they didn't like James Jude Courtney. So if you are, then congratulations. That's cool. Not saying Halloween 2018 is perfect by any means, by the way. Not at all. I could give you a nice little breakdown. You all know my story with Halloween 2018. I don't want to use the word wrong, but my opinion was different when I first saw it. I'm not like freaking crazy about the movie now, like I was when I first saw it. Hype. Okay, hype is a real thing. It really is. All right. Okay, next funny. Here we go. This one was a funny one. This is a Halloween Kills one, actually. And I think Matthew Meyer made this picture too. It says Halloween Kills is getting released my 21st birthday this year. COVID pushing it back a year. Isn't that great? Speaking of MMA too, by the way, guys, if you haven't watched the show Kingdom on Netflix, I highly recommend it. That's a damn good show, actually. I'm on season 2 now. I've been watching it with the wife. Yeah, I mean, that's good drama right there. That's good stuff. What's his name? Frank Grillo is the main character in it, and it's about this family, and they're a mixed martial arts family, and there's just a lot of drama going on in there. It's a good show though, really good show. Yeah. All right, next one. I got a bunch of them for you guys. Okay, let me show you. Hold on. This one's Alicia sent me this one actually. This is I finally picked up a copy of the 2020 Almanac. Don't open it. Don't open it. I think we already opened it though. Okay. Next one. Now this one's not really Todd Fair, hold on. I like James Jude Courtney in the movie as the Shape. Only good thing, he did great job. Okay, cool, Todd. Very cool. James Jude Courtney did do a great job in the movie. He certainly did. He was awesome. You know why? Because he just walked. Okay. This is a cool picture I found. It's an autopsy room of like an abandoned hospital. And it's just creepy looking, right? I hope you guys can see that. Like some of you guys watch my DDLives on your like big TVs, so you're getting the full effect of that picture. But I mean, that's like horror location 101 right there. You could set up your camera, you cut the lights out, and go to town in there, and you could probably make a really scary movie. I thought that was cool, so that's why I put it in here. Next one, thank you, Ashley, for this one. It says, when you realize it's August and it's almost that time of year. That's a festive one. I'm already starting to see those memes rolling out, too, about it. It's almost October. Are you guys happy for October, even though, we're in the middle of all this crap? Are you still looking forward to October? What are your October plans? Are you going to try to watch a horror movie every day? Let me know your plans. But I'm excited. I'm trying to put together some ideas. Like I'm still trying to hash out some good ideas for this October. I'm getting a few ideas, and I'm really excited though because I think I'm gonna try something new this October. Like I said this in the last stream, 31 days of October, it's done. I'm moving forward, and I'm trying to find newer ways to, I guess, be entertaining in October, to entertain my audience. I think I'm going to start throwing in funny vinyl covers from time to time in these because these are irresistible. Like this is one that I saw at the Goodwill, and I had to snap a pic of it. Any like 70s vinyl pictures are gold usually, and that guy's face right there, Roger Williams. If that's not a horror movie, I don't know what it is. Like, let me see if I can like zoom in a little bit for you guys. Yeah, look at that face. Is that not creepy or what? That's a creepy ass face. There's your horror movie right there. But so look for that. I'm going to try to seek out funny vinyl covers. And I'm sure my cup will runneth over. I'm sure I'm going to find tons of good stuff for you guys. All right. So there's your first right there. All right. Next one. Now this is a conversation starter right here. Okay. If you hated the character, that means the actor did a great job. What do you think, guys? Would you agree? I'm kind of curious to see what you guys think about that because there's some triggers in this post. Okay. There's a couple on there that you might disagree with. All right. I'm thinking bottom right. Some of you might be like bullshit. I agree. I actually liked Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. And let me tell you why. Because he wasn't Gene Hackman. And it wasn't the same, like every version of Lex Luthor, even Kevin Spacey, was pretty much the same type of guy. And I got bored with it. And you know what was refreshing? Is in Smallville when Michael Rosenbaum came in there, and he was what? He was a young version of Lex Luthor. And he knocked it out of the freaking park. Do I think that Jesse Eisenberg was as good as Michael Rosenbaum? No, I don't. But I like what they were trying to do with the character. I like a young Lex, actually. So, but there's some controversy in that one. Halloween, Todd Fair really hates Halloween 2018, guys. Okay. Late show. Dino says Phoenix. Yeah. Man, Commodus, Joaquin Phoenix nailed Commodus. Like that is one of the most underrated villains I've ever seen on screen. Like he was just as effective as Maximus. So there's some good ones on there though, for sure. For sure. The old lady in the middle that was in Harry Potter, oh my God, I freaking hated her. But for all the right reasons, she was amazing as that character. So I loved hating her, I guess. I think I would agree. Now, some of those I haven't seen. Like, I'm sure Tilda Swinton was phenomenal, though. Whatever movie that is. But, yeah, that's a good conversation one right there. I think Green Mile, this guy over here was in Green Mile. He was really good. It's kind of puzzles me that they put Hayden Christensen in there, because he's supposed to be seen as... Is he? I guess he's... Well, he does eventually become Darth Vader, but you're not supposed to hate him, you know? Like other characters. So, but he was technically playing a villain, but he wasn't always a villain. Like, every villain's not a villain from a point, I guess. So, Bobby, what's up, brother? Thank you. He says, I've heard nothing but praise about Halloween Kills. I honestly thought Halloween 2018 was okay. Let me go back up here. Hold on. It was okay at first, but every single time I rewatch, it gets better. Now I absolutely love it. Awesome. Yeah, awesome. I have a good time with Halloween 2018, and I didn't really talk about if I preferred it over H2O. Of course I do. I prefer Halloween 2018 because it does feel like a Halloween movie. I think H2O does have the better ending, even though the final act, I want it to be longer. So, I mean, I could do a good pro-con list for both movies. But, yeah, I prefer Halloween 2018 for sure. Let me go back down here. Okay. So, let me go to the next one. Thank you, Bobby. I appreciate that, man. All right. Next one. This one might be a little bit of a trigger. Maybe not really, but statue honoring those brave men and women who refuse to wear a mask. Just because that's what I see. And if you have a good position on the matter, like if you can really break down your argument as to why you think you should not wear a mask, then of course I'll listen to you. But it seems like, and of course this is the media, this is what the media shows you, so I'll give them that. But it seems like every time we see somebody arguing to not wear a mask, it's like that's the last person that you would want to represent your community. You know, that community being those that don't want to wear a mask. I mean, we all don't want to wear a mask, but when you're like huffing and puffing and saying, I gotta, this is my freedom, you're affecting other people around you. And I did an experiment last stream too, asking if you know somebody that has had COVID, if you've been affected by it. And I think I proved my point last time. So to make the argument that you're not hurting anybody by not wearing a mask is complete bullshit. So I thought it was funny though. So this is a nice Halloween one. Halloween and Trick or Treat says, what you thinking about? Oh, I don't know. Halloween stuff, I guess. I like how both those are like behind a bed and they're both lit kind of similarly. Okay. All right, I got a few more funnies here. I might have a lot more actually. Hold on. Now this could stir the pot here, okay, guys? This could stir the pot. This is like an observation. I didn't make this meme up. I found it, and I thought, you know what? Let's get a little debate going. It seemed, and I noticed this in my own household. When my wife and my daughter, when they were in school, they would get upset if they didn't make an A, and so. The girl says, oh my God, I got a 98 on my test. Don't worry, girl. Try harder next time. And guys, I got a 69 on my test. Nice. And that's kind of true. That's what I'm not speaking for everybody, but it seems like girls always want to overachieve when it comes to taking tests. And guys, we're just like, give me the C. Give me the C. You know? That's a hot button one right there, though. Hot button. Let's see, did I get that one? Yeah, I did that one. Did that one. So I'm on this one. No, I did that one too. Let me go up. Hold on. So that was 5. Here we go. Oh, this is one. This is a cool one that Beth sent me, actually. This is Halloween 3 in the Breakfast Club. Isn't that awesome? I had a big thing for, that's what she said, for Stacey Nelkin, by the way. Like, Stacey Nelkin, wow. Beautiful, beautiful girl, okay? She could do no wrong. Stacey Nelkin. She still looks good, too, actually. I think, does she do, like, news reporting now or something like that? I know she doesn't act anymore. But, yeah. Is that the real Tony Michael? Tony Michael photography. I don't know if that's the real. I don't think it is. It says my wife dumped me. I don't know what that is. Is that something? Is that? Thank you, Holly. Freaking moron. Jesus. They're always out there, you know. They're always out there trying to stir up shit. Okay. Thank you to my wrenches, by the way. Holly, Jason Nike, Beth. You guys freaking rock. Have my mask on my way to the movies to see Halloween Kills. Also me going back home because the movie got delayed a year. It's one of those come and go memes, but it's a Halloween style, I guess. Here's another one that Beth sent me. We watched Terrifier last night, and this pretty much sums it up. I believe this was Beth's first time seeing Terrifier. Everybody else had seen it, and I was just enjoying it because I loved like witnessing her reaction to this movie. Because if you've never seen Terrifier, brace yourself because it's freaking violent as hell. But the meme says, this fucker makes this guy look like a Disney princess. And that's a debate to be had. They're two very different clowns. But, man, art does not hold back whatsoever. Now, one thing I do like about Pennywise, though, like he does have his vicious moments. Like with Georgie, when Georgie's just like, and he's like seducing Georgie. That didn't sound right. And then he like comes out and bites his arm off. That was some pretty creepy stuff. So, next one. That was a good one, though, Beth. When your friend says they've never... I think... Did Chris Snyder send me this one? Friend says they've never seen a horror movie. We have such sights to show you. By the way, we're going to talk about In Search of Darkness right after this real quick, okay? Because there was one segment where Doug Bradley was on there and he was talking about Pinhead and you know, of course he described him so eloquently, but he was saying Pinhead's the one guy he's not really a bad guy. If you watch the first Hellraiser, really the bad people are the humans. You know, I think her name was Julie in the movie. Her and Frank are the bad people. Really, Pinhead kind of acts as a jury. You know, he doesn't pick a side. He just kind of decides what's right and what's wrong, and then he does his business. You know, Pinhead is like, he's probably the most sophisticated killer out there. He's not really, like I said, he's non-biased. So, Dave, Shandy, tonight could last us forever. Love it. Lee, it's okay to admit you hated Halloween 2018. You got me. You got me, okay? Worst fucking movie on the planet. Okay, next one. Love you, Todd. This is a good one. I think we're in Chris Snyder land, by the way. Finally got that post-lockdown trim, feeling fresh. What is this mask worse than the H2O mask? That's a debate to be had. But what if you saw a Myers mask that looked like that? Nope, no wrench for you, Tony Michael Photography. No wrench for you, buddy. How I look on my Facebook profile picture, how I look when I'm tagged in someone else's Facebook picture. There's a little H2O tag for you there, I guess. Little jab, little H2O jab. That one was courtesy of Beth. I know that. Oh, I love this one. Somebody posted this on Killer Flicks the other day. I think it was Parker Jackson. But that was brilliant. You know, because we all love Ronnie, right? And he's like, take that damn thing off. And he's saying it to Sartain. Love it. Love it. That's one thing I did hate about Halloween 2018 is when he put that mask on. I'll give you that. Here you go. This isn't horror, but I love this. That look when she asks for your manager and you reply, I am the manager. What was she thinking with that freaking haircut? Jesus. I'm going to try to include a Karen meme every week too. Might as well. I got a lot of funnies for you guys this week, huh? I think we're getting near the end of them, though. Was that the last one? That was it. That was the last one. Okay, back over here. Hold on. All right, cool. That was good. Now, before we get into In Search of Darkness, I will, if you want to go back and rewatch this, tomorrow I will probably put the timestamps on there. I always put timestamps so that way if you guys want to watch a particular section of these, then you can go right over and watch it. You can just click on the timestamp and then boom, there you go. Okay? All right. In Search of Darkness. And I always forget to cover a couple things because I run out of time. But I'm glad I got 10 minutes to talk about In Search of Darkness because this is a 4.5 hours? Something like that. It's a long documentary. And I love horror documentaries. I do. This was amazing. And it's amazing because it was a work of love. You know, it was one of those crowdfunded projects. I remember I even did like a promo for it back when they were first getting the thing going. I have a video promoting it when they were, still trying to get the money to make the thing. I didn't know that it was going to turn out this freaking good, this freaking professional. Like this can stand up next to like some of the best horror documentaries out there. I finished it today. I watched it on my lunch break because I have the Shudder app on my phone. If you don't have the Shudder app on your phone, get it because it's great for your, like when I'm at work, when I go to my lunches, I pull up the Shudder app and like today I was watching Host. I have 15 minutes left of Host. So I'm going to get a review out for Host, but it took me quite a few days, but I finally finished it today for In Search of Darkness. And there was... people have been posting this thing on Killer Flicks, and there were a couple people that said that they were bored out of their mind and they didn't like it at all, and they didn't learn anything new. And I was kind of like, after watching this thing, I was like, how could anybody that's a big horror fan, especially that loves 80s horror, not love this? Like I adored every bit of it, even for the movies that I've seen. But especially for the movies that I haven't seen. This is like a video encyclopedia of horror. Like I have my slasher movie book back there that's like the book form. This is the video version of that. But it's not just slashers. It's like, and of course they don't cover every horror movie because you can only get so much in there, right? But there's a lot of like hidden gems and smaller horror movies that they cover that you wouldn't expect, which is kind of cool actually. But if you haven't seen the doc yet, first off, get it on Shudder. I'm not being paid by them. I just want to tell you guys my opinion on it, and I loved it. And one thing I loved about it was just the way it was broken down. Like it was every year, starting from 1980 to 1989, and so they would probably give you anywhere from 8 to 10 movies per year, and they'd give you like this little nugget, like this little featurette for each movie. And there's, you got like Dead Meat in there, you got Cecil from Good Bad Flicks in there, and then you got like some celebrities that were in a lot of horror movies, like Barbara Crampton, Doug Bradley is in there. There's a small group of people that are actually in the documentary, but they pretty much cover all the ground needed to be covered. It's cool that like a celebrity that wasn't in a certain horror movie is talking about that horror movie. I kind of dug that about it. Like say Barbara Crampton might be talking about a movie that she wasn't even in, and so it's like it kind of shows that we're all horror fans, even the celebrities. They're big horror fans, and and they love movies that they're not in, which was cool. Now, like I said, it's broken up by year, but also there's little sections in there, like say they get to like 1982, and then they'll throw in a little featurette about, say, like nudity in the 80s, music from the 80s, directors from the 80s. They have a section, like there's a section on Carpenter. There's a section on Cronenberg. There's something for every horror fan in this. And if I had to guess what those people that said they didn't like the doc the reasoning, maybe they wanted a longer documentary on one specific movie. Because I will say, for each movie that they cover, it is short, of course. But when you're trying to cover that many movies, 4 hours isn't enough. Because, they might cover a freaking 100 movies in this thing. So, but what I love about it is they covered a lot of movies that I hadn't seen. And after watching this, it made me want to watch those movies. Like The Blob was one that I haven't seen. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I haven't seen that yet. So it gave me a little bit more of an idea of what these movies were about. Critters 2. I've seen the first Critters. I haven't seen the second. I could do there's a list of movies that are covered on that documentary that I have not seen yet. And Society was another one. After watching the footage that they showed from Society, wow. The Howling 2 was another one that I'm really wanting to watch. Holly, it's 4 to 4.5 hours. So I'd say watch it like in hour increments. But and there's they show nudity. They show if that's your thing, you want to see nudity in your documentaries. This definitely has it. They showed Sybil Danning from Howling 2 in there. They make fun of how they constantly show her naked in Howling 2. But just a lot of great stuff in that documentary, and I can't recommend it enough. And like I said, after seeing it, I was shocked that somebody could not like that, because it was amazing. Amstel, Shudder did sponsor me for one video. I reviewed Lake Bodom, and I gave an honest review. I enjoyed the hell out of that movie. It's a foreign film, but that was the only video where Shudder actually reached out to me, and they wanted to pay me to cover one of their movies, cover the actual app. And I said, absolutely, because I'm a Shudder fan. I get approached by companies asking me to sell their products all the time. And most of the time I ignore it. I don't want to promote anything that I'm not passionate about, so of course I said, hell yeah, I would gladly do a video for you guys. So this particular part right here, though, no, I'm not getting paid by Shudder at all. That's the only time I've ever been paid by Shudder. That might be the only time I've ever been paid by an advertiser. Like I said, most of them I ignore. Most of them I don't even like. I'm not going to sell you a freaking razor. I don't know. I don't feel right about it at this point in my YouTube journey. I just kind of like doing what I'm doing. So I'm really selective about how I promote myself, how I market myself, because I want to be honest. Because once you lose that, it's hard to get it back, So, Lake Bodom, though, definitely check that out. That was a good movie. But In Search of Darkness, holy shit, man. I like those big, long, chunky documentaries anyway. So, it was cool. God, man, I swear you guys make this so freaking easy. I'm always am I going to be able to cover 2 hours? Every week I have the same freaking mental argument with myself, and you guys have my back every time. Every time I do one of these, you're like, Lee, I got you. Okay, we're gonna get through this together, and you guys give me way too much to talk about. So, and I think that's one thing I'm gonna start doing with you guys too. Is I'm gonna let you guys decide. I have a say a little bit more on what I cover. I'm curious to see what you guys would want me to discuss in future DDLives, because I'm enjoying doing these with you guys every Thursday night. So, no Manscaped sponsorship. Now, if it's a Manscaped product that I am very passionate about, I'll cover it. And this time, I'll keep it off. There's the Grinch again. I can't help but do it. Lake Placid. I got a review coming for Lake Placid that's going to happen. I got a list of patron reviews that are coming up, and non-patron reviews. And I'll read those to you real quick. Actually, I can cross that one off. 8 Mile. I did that one. The Wraith. The Stuff. I'm going to be doing the Final Girls Revisited, because I reviewed the Final Girls when it first came out. But Metatron 1000, he wants me to do a Revisited. And I said, hell yeah, I would love to do a revisit on the Final Girls. Z, which is on Shudder. That's a movie I'm going to do from Shudder. Gunjam Haunted Asylum, which is a South Korean film. I'm going to be doing that one. Crocodile, the Toby Hooper movie from 2000. Going to be doing that one. Lake Placid. So I've got 2 Crocodile movies coming up. Nightmare Cinema, which is like an anthology. That one's coming up. And that's what I got on tap right now. So as you can see, my plate is full with reviews. That's why you've been seeing a lot of reviews come out lately, because I want to try to get my patron reviews out as quick as possible for those guys. And I like to try to give a good review. So Final Girls is going to be a fun one though, for sure. So look for some posts from me on Twitter, and maybe Killer Flick, something like that, or maybe even my patron page too, getting ideas from you guys about what to discuss in future streams. Because like I said earlier, I don't want to make every one of these streams about Halloween, okay? I am getting a little burnout on Halloween. I'm glad I got to talk about H2O, though. This was the perfect time to talk about H2O. And if I could talk about any movie, it would be H2O, because like I said, it's a very heated, debated movie. So, anyway, guys, that is going to conclude this episode of DDLive number 12. Next week is going to be number 13. That poses an opportunity right there. Maybe top 10 scenes from the Friday the 13th, or top 13 scenes from the Friday the 13th soundtrack. Jesus, is getting a lot soundtrack. Jesus. What do you guys think about that? Maybe next week we do the top 13 scenes from the Friday franchise. I could do that. That could be really cool. It is the 13th episode, so yeah, maybe. Why would love a horror movie about a demon female who seduces men and kills them after sex, and she does eventually dies? Shane Moser. That sounds familiar, actually. That sounds very familiar. That's going to bother me now. I'm trying to think of what that is. What was a movie recently I reviewed where she seduces them? Damn it. Hold on, let me look this up real quick. I just reviewed something about... Oh, Jennifer's Body. That's what it was. There's a couple movies like Species where you got somebody seducing the prey and then they kill them. So I like those types of movies too, actually. So, all right, yeah. So it seems like you guys want the Friday stream. So you know what? I'll call it right now. That's what we're gonna do next Friday. We're gonna do top 13 scenes of the Friday franchise. I'll do it like I did Halloween, and I'll pick every movie in the franchise, and I'll give you my favorite scene from each movie. So that way I'm covering all the ground. Okay. Splice is another one like that too. Yes, Splice is a good one. Very underrated, actually. Most people don't talk about Splice. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for jumping on these things every week. I enjoy hanging out with you guys, shooting the shit. And take care of each other out there. Be safe. And keep it horror, guys. Love you guys. Take